So ladies and gentlemen, after doing the job in La Liga and beating Real Sociedad a few days ago, ladies and gentlemen, now being top of the table, it is time to shift our focus away from La Liga, ladies and gentlemen, and back in the Champions League, because ladies and gentlemen, we have a big game, ladies and gentlemen. We are the main event of this week's Champions League. It's Barcelona versus Paris Saint-Germain. Barcelona versus the current reigning defending UEFA Champions League winners. And listen to me, ladies and gentlemen, this is gonna be a good game. This is the kind of game that as a Barca fan, I've been looking for, because I wanna know how far this team can take me. Now, I'm going to go to the preview. We're going to talk about some other stuff, because unfortunately we don't have all of the players that I wanted to see, because I wanted to see at our best how good can we play against PSG, who are the current European champions, at their best. But listen, with all of that, ladies and gentlemen, this is the match preview of the Barcelona versus PSG game, where I will be talking about the game in general, guys. Both teams' forms coming into this game, as far as injuries and prediction lineups and prediction scores. So if you guys like that, make sure you guys smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and let's do this. So ladies and gentlemen, take a look at this, guys. October 1st, on Wednesday, ladies and gentlemen, Barcelona at the Estadio Montjuic Stadium. Barcelona take on Paris Saint-Germain, two teams that have had a great start to the Champions League. As you can see, we both won our opening games of the Champions League. PSG doing the job on the opening game against Atalanta, absolutely battering them by 4-0. We went away to St. James's Park and we also recorded our win. And listen, ladies and gentlemen, both teams coming with a win. Match will be starting at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or 8 p.m. if I'm not mistaken, European time or GMT time, ladies and gentlemen. And look, this is a big game. Amongst the European elites, this is the game that every single person is going to be watching on that Wednesday, ladies and gentlemen. Unless, you know, if your club is playing on that day, doesn't really matter, ladies and gentlemen, because this game is the game that everybody wants to see. This is the game that should have been the Champions League final last season. Let's call it for what it is. This should have been the Champions League final. It is a travesty that we didn't make it in the final, because I truly do believe that if we were in the Champions League final against PSG, the result would have been completely different. But look, we could have made what ifs, what if this, what if that. It doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, it is what it is, right? It did not happen. So this is the closest thing we're going to get to knowing what might have been. But unfortunately, both of these teams are not coming into this game exactly, I would say, in the best of shape. Let's just call it for what it is. Both of our clubs have been hit by the injury bug. We've both been hit by the injury bug, and we've been hit hard. I'm not even gonna lie, right? When this game came out, right, all of the talk was how this was Dembele versus Yamal, because we know both men were basically going for the Ballon d'Or in the end. And listen, Dembele won it. Congratulations to him. But this is the thing. Unfortunately for PSG, we have Yamal back for this game. But unfortunately for them, Dembele, I don't think he's back yet. And I'm going to go into the next segment. But both of these teams are, dude, it's kind of unfortunate that, you know, we are not going to see some of our best players perform or play in this game. And the reason, ladies and gentlemen, I'm saying all of that is because this, ladies and gentlemen, is our current injury list. As you can see, we are going to be without our best goalkeeper. We're going to be without our best left winger. We're going to be without one of our best number 10s. We're going to be without one of our best midfielders. And we're going to be without this guy. We don't talk about this guy. But let's just talk about the other people, right? João Garcia is going to be huge. Massive miss for this one. This is the worst one out of all the injuries, right? Rafinha is bad, but João Garcia behind the defense was gonna give me so much more to not worry about, right? And obviously Rafinha, you know, it would have been great to have Rafinha in this game, because we know Rafinha can turn it up. You understand what? He has a tendency of shutting down, but he can turn it up. So I would have been curious to see how he would have played in this game, because this is the thing with Rafinha. Rafinha usually turns up in these kind of big games. This is big games where he actually thrives in, right? Another guy, Fermin Lopez, he actually had a great start I know he has his up and downs, but really he's had a better start than Dani Olmo. I would have loved to have had him in this game, right? And Gavi, unfortunately, he's also been out. He had a good start to the start of the season until his meniscus messed up, right? But that's unfortunate. But like I mentioned, this is not just Barca, because ladies and gentlemen, I want you to take a look at this, ladies and gentlemen. You think Barcelona's injuries are bad? Look at this list, ladies and gentlemen. The newest man to join the injury list is Vitinha, their best midfielder. He is also now injured. Kvaratskhelia was also injured, but he's been back recently, right? Thankfully for them. But take a look at this. Look at the players that they have missing for this game. These are huge misses, right? The biggest one being him. He's the biggest miss out of all of them. Desiree Doué is another huge miss. João Neves is a big miss. Fabian Ruiz, right? McInnes, they are basically screwed. They have so many injuries compared to Barca. That's why I don't want to hear the excuses of, oh, we don't have we don't have Rafinha, or we don't have João Garcia. As much as I would love those guys to have been there, when I look at this PSG team and how handicapped they are coming into this game, I think we can take advantage and get this win. I'm sorry. Because on paper, we will be, if all these players are not available, then we're definitely going to be the team with the better players coming into this game. So I expect us to wake up and make sure that we don't mess this up, right? Because at the end of the day, per man for man, I do believe that we can beat PSG even at their best, when they have their best players. When we have our best players, I believe that we can get it done as well. But for PSG, man, this is not great news coming into this game. So, ladies and gentlemen, with all of that talk of injuries and all this talk, ladies and gentlemen, let's just get straight into my prediction of the starting 11, ladies and gentlemen. Take a look at the lineup I've decided to go with, guys. There's a few changes and tweaks that I've made to the squad, but I think that on paper, this is our best team when all the players who we have fit are available. I have Szczesny in goal, the 4-2-3-1 formation, with Gerard Martin, with Jules Koundé on the fullback positions. Ronald Araujo will keep his position in the defense alongside Kobashi, and we will have Pedri playing in the midfield alongside De Jong. By the way, these two have been playing very, very well. They absolutely cooked in the game against Real Sociedad, so I'm looking forward to seeing what these two do in the game against PSG. Dani Olmo will be back in the starting 11. He did not start in the game against Sociedad, so I expect him to be in this game. Marcus Rashford has been in great form coming into this game, so I hope that this continues and Rashford will be on the right. Obviously, ladies and gentlemen, the golden boy, the king, is back, ladies and gentlemen. Lamine Yamal came on in the game against Real Sociedad, got an assist within 1 minute of being on the pitch. So listen, I am expecting to see him in this game start absolutely 100%. Probably first name on the team sheet with Robert Lewandowski, guys, will be keeping his place. I know he wasn't that good in the game against Real Sociedad, but they gotta go. And sometimes we all know when it comes to Lewandowski, out of him and Ferran Torres, I'm sorry, he's the one that I can trust to start, not Ferran Torres. So at the end of the day, it is what it is. Obviously, this lineup is good. The one player that I think this should be a redemption game is this man right here. You, Ronald Araujo, right? Let me put you on full screen. You, my friend, you need this game because your career has never been the same ever since the last time we played PSG. That famous game in 2024, bro. Ever since that famous game when you got sent off, you've never been the same player again. This is the moment. This is when I need you to get your redemption. Because you've been playing very, very well recently. I've been impressed by your start of the season. But this game right here, this is the game where I need to see you get your redemption and finally get the biggest redemption and continue the form and help us win the league and Champions League this season. But listen, that is honestly, guys, what I think, guys, as far as the whole squad is concerned. This game is going to be good. I don't expect this game to be dull at all. I expect both teams to go for it. Even with all the injuries, I still think that Enrique is going to want to come to Barcelona and do the job, right? So, for me, I need us to win this game. I need us to win this game. Because let me be clear here. When it comes to PSG, cannot stand that club. Absolutely can't stand them, bro. I need us to win. And you know what, ladies and gentlemen? I believe we will. I actually believe we're going to win. I'm going to go Barcelona 3, Paris Saint-Germain 3-1, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to get a 3-1 win against the European champions and finally humble that club along with their fans, ladies and gentlemen. But let me know what you guys are saying in the comment section below. Tell me what you guys are saying about this game. Put your score lines as well in the comment section below. Make sure you guys smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications. And like I always say whenever I end these streams, guys, Visca el Barça, Visca el Catalunya, and peace, you guys. Take care.